Marlon, what made you decide to audition for Beauty and the Geek in the first place?
I thought, well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the series. It's one of the few series that I actually watch, one of the few reality TV series that I actually watch, and I just thought it was a very positive, uplifting show in contrast to the, Who Wants to Date My Mother's 40-year-old midget in a tutu while juggling beans, and then everyone sort of yells at each other and there's a huge fight or something like that. I just thought this had a more positive message of change through facials, and I wanted to be part of that. I thought that I was a fairly geeky guy, and that I'd fit in well, and hey, a shot at some prize money and staying in a mansion with some ladies. It's pretty much my one chance to be an extremely low rent version of Hugh Hefner.
Yeah. So once you were actually in the show, obviously you taped it and come back to Adelaide to your normal life, I suppose.
Yeah.
Was it then difficult to keep secret what was going to happen in the upcoming weeks?
It was killing me. First of all, every single episode, people would come up and ask, it's like, hey, so did you win? Come on, you can tell me who won. I'm like, no, go away. But it was just incredibly difficult to sort of hide the results from people, especially when they were so curious, and so I had to just sort of play it real cool. And everyone was telling me, it's like, if you win, you got to buy me something, or you got to do something for me. I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like, you agreed to that too easily. You didn't win, did you? And I'm like,
So, in addition to you, there were another two geeks who were from Adelaide in the show. So there was Stuart and Daniel. Yep. Do you think that Adelaide is an especially geek-ridden town, or?
I think that we do have a fairly large native population of geeks, which are being rapidly driven out or converted to hipsters. We represent in pretty much all of the social groups, I think, pretty well. We've got our preppies, our goths, our emos, our emo goths, our vampires, our vampire wannabes, our zombie fetishists, our flash mobs. Really, we've got it all. It's sort of a festering hive of scum and villainy.
And a lot of those groups also include geeks.
Yeah. Well, the geek is such a general term these days that you can pretty much geek out about anything. But I guess it more does refer to an obsessive set of behaviours, which a lot of people have more and more. I think as the internet becomes just increasingly entrenched in our homes, and we're always online. It's sort of a form of learned ADD that a lot of kids have these days. Those crazy kids staying on our lawns and not moving.
So do you think that being on the show changed you at all?
I think physically it definitely changed me. I was very skeptical about the makeover. I honestly thought, it's like, you're just going to cut some hair off and put me in a different set of clothes. You're not going to actually change anything. But it's amazing how sort of the outside transformation really did change very subtly. I'm not going to say it completely remade me over, like personality-wise, but I did feel more boisterous after I felt like more sort of out there, whereas before it was almost like my sweater vest was a containment suit, and as was my hair was just dampening my face. So yeah, I felt better after the makeover. I did.
Mm-hmm. So has it impacted on your everyday life in any way, being in this show? Like, do people recognise you, or has it had an impact? I mean, you're studying law, so how does that work? Being a law student and going on a reality TV show, does that impact at all?
There was an article actually by this sort of Law Insider magazine that speculated on whether or not me going on reality television was an enormously bad career move. People from the law office where I'm doing my internship, they didn't really. They sort of said, "Oh, hey, how you doing? You're that guy," and there was that sort of thing. But I wasn't prepared for the screaming fangirls, and it happened It took a while. I think it was the week after the makeover episode that just suddenly I started getting mobbed by women when I went out at night, and it was really weird to have that happen. Just constantly, like I'd be waiting in line outside a club, and they'd walk by, and then they'd go back. It's like, oh my god, it's him! And they're just clamoring for photographs, and all the guys wanted to high five me. Although some of the guys were like, man, F this guy, thinks he's hot stuff. And I'm like, I don't think I'm hot stuff. I've never said that I'm hot stuff, although I am hot stuff.
But you still have to wait in line to get into clubs.
Yeah, that's clearly the fame doesn't stretch that far. No.
But so you haven't got any stalkers or anything?
I may have online, but none that I know of physically.
Yeah.
So.
Because I suppose that's another whole sort of realm to it, because it's a national show and they have the internet website and everything. There is the whole World Wide Web sort of side to it. So I mean, is it weird being able to go on and read things about yourself, what people are saying about yourself and things like that?
It is weird. It's mostly positive, which is good for me, but I know Dan got absolutely slammed in the weeks before the makeover. People just loved to hate him. I didn't think that characterization was fair, but then it turned into an equally weird phenomenon after the makeover, where his fan base just exploded with hormonal girls and young women. And he went from having, because I actually did, the Facebook pages were sort of public domain, and I kept clicking on them obsessively because, I'm an ego monster. He went from having 150 fans in the weeks before the makeover to immediately after the makeover episode having it jump up to 1,000, then to 3,000, 5,000, 13,000. By the final week, he had, I think, close to 21,000 fans, and a large percentage of them were, women within the dateable age range. So, it's utterly bizarre how it worked out for him. I don't know whether it's sort of carried over into real life, but I know that he gets a similar phenomenon to me, being sort of mobbed. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm going to enjoy it while it does.
Yep. So throughout the show, both the guys and the girls had to participate in various challenges.
Yep.
What was your favourite challenge across the time?
I want to say the nude photo shoot, but that's not true. It was cold. It's really cold. Milk is cold.
Yeah, what was up with you and the milk?
I don't know. It was really weird because you said, all right, let's go get some milk. And I was like, well, I'm actually lactose intolerant, so I can't drink the milk. It's like, get that man some soy. I don't know why he chose Milkman. I'd never before,
expressed an interest in
No,
milk?
I'd never sworn my allegiance to milk. I'd never talked about how much I love milk in the morning, waking up next to milk and staring into milk's eyes. It was just a bizarre choice. But maybe one day I'll understand it.
Yes. But it made for a good picture.
Yeah, it made for a fantastic picture. I just wish they'd kind of cut my hair before I did it, because I looked like, Hugh Hefner's, third world XP.
Well, you're immortalised now.
Yeah.
You're in people's houses.
Oh god.
Does that kind of freak you out?
It does. It freaks me out that anyone can buy those calendars. I don't have any control over who's admiring my milk-drenched physique, and that scares me.